A committee will be formed to examine the roster system. Until the finding of the committee, there will not be any new advertisement for government jobs. However, the ongoing recruitment will continue and the appointments will be as per the roster system. This was informed by Chief Minister Conrad Sangma after the all-party meeting on Friday. The committee will be headed by Health Minister Ampran Lingdo. The government will go ahead with the roster system with prospective effect and there will not be any discussion on reservation. However, the VPP and Khnam leaders walked out of the meeting as they wanted review of the reservation policy. Let us listen what the other party leaders have to say.
As you're aware, we had an all-party meeting today where we have shared and discussed concerns about the roster system, and a lot of inputs have come in and a detailed presentation on what is a roster and how the roster works and all the details and nitty-gritties of the system have been explained to the different leaders of different political parties. Most of the political parties who are present here right now on the dais with me have seen the presentation and are satisfied seeing what the details are, and concerns have been raised and some clarifications have been sought. And hence we have decided that in order to ensure that all the different concerns that are there are clarified, and hence a committee is proposed to be set up, which will be chaired by our Honorable Health Minister, Kong Ampuri, and different members from different political parties will be in it, so that we can allow them to seek clarification and give further suggestions on how they propose that or they suggest that we should move forward. Apart from that, certain clarifications have been sought. We have clarified most of the points. Certain clarifications like whether in education sector this particular system will apply or not. So we have clarified that the roster is meant for direct recruitment only, and hence it is not meant to be implemented for education purpose, in the sense for the different seats that are there in different education institutions across the country. So on and so forth. There were many other points that were raised, and we have given a complete clarification on that. I have explained to everybody that the roster system is a continuous process. It starts from 72 and it continues. It is important for us to understand the starting point because it allows us to understand where we are in the roster today. But while we say that, we have to also remember that in the past 50 years, whatever has happened in the recruitment process, which we have plotted in the roster system, is something that has been done based on reservation policy and based on the rules in reservation policy. Hence, for us today to go back into the facts and figures and go back into the appointments that have been made during that time under whatever process that was done is not possible for us to go back and make changes into it. And hence, the data and information allows us to plot and understand where we stand in the sequence. But as I said, the option or the concern that we will go back and change things in the past does not arise. We are also calling a joint meeting of all the stakeholders on the 30th or 31st. But before that, as I said, these different stakeholders who will be called jointly will also be called separately, or rather whenever they feel like they want to get some more clarification. We have asked one of our officials to make time and ensure that all the necessary explanations to different stakeholders can be given. Of course, not anybody and everybody, but organizations that are concerned about this and different stakeholders. So we will try and clear the concerns that they have.
Reservations. How can we speak about the roster system if reservation is not being discussed? So that is what we've been insisting upon the government. And so unless the government talks about the reservation, I think there's no point talking about roster system.
So can we say that due to you not being satisfied with the outcome of the meeting, was that you stayed or walk out from the meeting?
Well, there's no point, discussing about the roster system because, it's like putting the cart before the horse. So unless you talk about the reservation policy, roster system, discussing and spending time in the roster system, for us as a party, we feel it's just a waste of time.
That can be implemented. That can be implemented easily by the different department. They don't need to call us this meeting. It is not so complicated. It's not rocket science to understand the roster system. So for us, we come to this meeting simply because we have been invited to come. They put in the subject of the letter as reservation roster. So we thought that the twin issues will be discussed. But when in the meeting we asked whether why the OM of 2022 does not speak about the population structure, which the 1972 resolution clearly stated that the principle of reservation is the population also.
Exactly.
But here the OM of 2022 speaks nothing about the population structure, and therefore we feel that it is pointless to have a discussion on the roster system, which is, I would say, a very simple matter which can be understood by anyone without coming to this meeting.
There is a very, very strong initiative to try to understand how the roster was prepared, but we have made our point very clear that the government is at liberty to prospectively implement the roster system. And we have, as per our understanding, now it is very clear whether the roster is starting from 1 or 21 or 41 does not make any difference. So all we are asking is that don't start from 1, start from 41, 21, which will not make any difference, which is a statement of the government. So our point is very simple. We have made very clear points: prospective implementation of roster, and to cancel and stop all the recruitment till the roster is properly put in place. And based on the second part, the government will be considering to stop all these employments till the air is cleared, so that there is no misunderstanding. We have made our point that outside, when every time there's an advertisement coming out in paper or through our departments, there are posts that are many have given to one community, which makes the other community feel insecure and feel that maybe their right is being deprived, maybe the roster system is against them. So it's up to the government to ensure how to put all this thing at rest.
I think this was the best kind of positioning that the government can keep itself with, considering the kind of data, information and the 50 years behind us that had gone. So if the roster has to be put in place, then this would be, I think, the best way forward first, to bring all the political parties on board. And after this, whatever the final decisions will come, the government will give us a presentation, and based on that, we will again be discussing. And the committees, as our Honorable Vice President has said, that a committee is being put in place. So that committee also will give further discussions and a platform for us to put our concerns.
Outcome means we have been having insight of so many things after the roster system is in place, because whenever there is reservation policy, there should be roster system in place. It is mandated in the law. So since after having the reservation policy also, there is no roster system, that's the reason why the Honorable High Court has intervened into this. So now this roster system is being implemented, and we want that while implementing this roster system, all the stakeholders should be put on board.
Because we're working for the interests of our young generation to ensure that our youth have a future in the state, our youth have faith in the system, and the government, the Chief Minister has clarified very clear that there will be no community that will be discriminated. The roster system is in place because all along after the reservation policy was enacted, there was no roster system in place. So it's been very clear now, it's been clarified. So the young generation should not worry. There will be no discrimination against any community. As per the reservation policy enacted by the Assembly, that will be followed in letter and spirit.
At the very outset, a roster that will now be put in place will safeguard all communities of the state, irrespective of their tribal statuses. That is the first thing. This roster now will also put in order a reservation policy that went without a guideline for 51 long years. So these are the two corrections that are going to be made in this application of roster. And as was discussed both at the MDA as well as at the all-party meeting, a retrospective application of the roster will not arise.
To make it more complete, it has been suggested that there will be a committee headed by a cabinet minister, and this committee would be represented by all the political parties. A member or two from each political party will be a part of this committee, wherein they will be sitting again to look into the nitty-gritty of this roster system. These were the things that were decided today, and we look forward that this roster system is going to benefit the youths of the state. It will create more job avenues for the Khasi, Jaintia and for the Garo students.